Here is how you remember every country in Africa by association. Egypt, you should know already. If not, then here's the Nile. Alexandria is on the coast, and Cairo is further down. Then Sudan is right below there, one of the biggest countries in Africa. It used to be one thing, but the Sudanese and the Muslims up here were killing the Christians in South Sudan, so they split the country like 10 years ago or so. Now, all of this is desert. Obviously, the green, there's more Christians in the green, but Nigeria is the other place where Muslims are killing a lot of Christians right now. Trump just took action yesterday, it looks like, um, with force. But that's where a lot of the Christians got killed yesterday. Nigeria is closer to the coast than Niger, which means it has more money, which is why it has two more letters than Niger, which is up here. Chad kind of has this chin right here, and it holds all of Africa together by being a focal point of the top middle. But you can see the guy's face, nose, chin. He's a real Chad with that hair. Ethiopia, this is where the person was traveling, the eunuch was traveling back to in Acts when he was stopped by Philip and got saved somewhere up here. And then Somalia, this is where Mogadishu is right down here on the coast. That's where Black Hawk Down occurred in 1993. Big battle, worth watching the movie, incredible, very intense. Kenya and Tanzania are, well, Kenya and Ethiopia have the fastest marathon runners in the world, and Tanzania tries to, and it's kind of prideful. It thinks it's bigger than Kenya, but it just doesn't have as fast as runners. So it wants to be like Kenya, but it's not there yet. Nairobi is part of Kenya, and that's the capital. That'll come up sometime. Right here is Mount Kilimanjaro, right on the border, just in Tanzania. And this is, I think it's the second highest mountain in the world. And, well, it's the highest mountain in Africa. We'll say that. And then Mozambique, this is a driver like pulling back on the car, a little animated car with its front wheels here and bumper and back wheels and back bumper. And he's going and pulling back on the steering wheel, and that's his head right there. But so he's the mad car driver, even though Madagascar is over here, looking like a submarine, a boat headed in that direction. But they're friends, and they have long, weird M names. Over here, Malawi, hard to spell sometimes. Corinne has been here, and it looks like a little worm right beside this lake in Mozambique. And then you have South Africa. Everyone knows South Africa. You can't mess it up. Johannesburg is further up in here. In Pretoria, lots of civil rights issues in this one. And Cape Town is over here at the corner. Back in the days of ships, turning the Cape was very important, going around there. This used to be Swaziland, but now it's Eswatini. So yeah, keep that straight. And Lesotho, you don't pronounce the H, but it is swallowed up inside of Africa, South Africa. Botswana is right above it. Very fun name to say. And it's just a basic circle-like shape right here. A little bit more of a circle shape is Zimbabwe. These are the only two countries that start with a Z in the world, Zambia and Zimbabwe. Zambia is bigger, but its name is shorter. So Zimbabwe has the longer name, but it's smaller. So you just know that. The bigger one, shorter name. Longer name, smaller country. Namibia was partitioned when in like 1800s or sometime, when everyone back in Germany and France and England were deciding, and Portugal and the Dutch were deciding who would rule what parts of Africa and where they would colonize, and they kind of forgot the longitudinal and made a mistake here. So then they were like, oh, who has that land? I don't know. We'll just throw it in here. So this is part of that country by an accident that people sitting in Europe decided 200 years ago. Angola, very nice country, very nice, pretty nice shape right here. This is not Algeria. Angola has an O in its name. Algeria does not have an O in its name. And this portion right here, as you can see, it's a little bit higher up on top of Democratic Republic of the Congo. That is also Angola. But you would probably want to guess this if you don't know what city it's at. Democratic Republic of the Congo is the center of Africa, but Central African Republic is slightly more central and a republic in Africa. Now, the Congo and the Republic of the Congo is right over here. You can remember that because the Democratic is the biggest one, Central is the most central, and Republic of the Congo is the other one, which is over here, and that's smaller because it has a smaller name. Gabon, this is where all the monkeys come from. Obviously, they're near the Congo. Equatorial Guinea, as you can see, this is the equator right here. So Equatorial Guinea is very close to the equator. Sao Tome and Principe are these two islands out here. Those are one set of islands. There's three sets of islands over here, or four. Comoros, yeah, three. That one doesn't. I don't know if this is a country or not. Yeah, it's part of France. So if we ever see Mayotte as part of France, we know where to click. Seychelles, hard to say if you're dyslexic, is right here. We've already seen this one. And Comoros is right there. Cameroon, it's like a reverse of Idaho. See how it goes up like this way when Idaho goes up like that way? We've already seen, the other islands. Cape Verde is over here, or Cabo Verde, because it's Portugal, not Spanish. And then Uganda, Bob Love does a lot of stuff in Uganda. Rwanda is right next to it. These guys had civil wars internally. And then Burundi is like the little sibling, which is under Rwanda and wants to also like Kenya and Tanzania. Tanzania wants to be Kenya. Burundi wants to be Rwanda because both Kenya and Rwanda are more well known than Tanzania and Burundi. Little siblings want to be like their older sibling. I know nothing of that myself. Why do you think that is? Spoken from personal experience. Here's Togo, looks like a pogo stick. And Benin is slightly larger. And it has this little fist on top. Ghana is a very African name, and it is a rectangle. Cote d'Ivoire, that's Ivory Coast in French, and it's right here. It's the biggest one. I guess you can find ivory there from the elephant tusks, and that is the biggest country over here. So Ivory Coast, don't mess it up. Liberia is where Lincoln sent the slaves back after we were freeing them. Sierra Leone is right next to it, and Sierra Leone has Freetown, also where slaves went back to after they were freed. Took a while for the government to catch on and for everyone to be okay, but they learned to govern themselves, and they're doing better now than they were at first. Guinea looks like a guinea pig, as it's draped over Sierra Leone right there. Guinea and Bissau, fun name, and very small country. It's kind of just wedged in there like a doorstop. So you've got three Guineas to remember. Equatorial Guinea on the equator. Guinea looks like a guinea. Guinea and Bissau, fun, but wedged in. Senegal is eating the Gambia. So the Gambia, the small one, kind of like a small appetizer that you might eat. Senegal wraps around it. I'm not sure why they were not just their own thing altogether. Burkina Faso is not one of these small countries, but it's back in here, a small country back in here from the coast. It's fun to say, but it doesn't have as much coastline, so it makes it harder to find sometimes. Mauritania is not Mauritius. So good to remember. This one ends with an A, and it's in Africa and has all desert. The S is over here in the C because it ends with an S, which is what C starts with. So that's easy to keep straight. Bali is right here. It's got this fun shape. No other country is shaped like that. Like, come on. What a nice geographic shape. And it's got mostly desert. But over here's Morocco, which has Casablanca, which has the nice movie. So you got to remember Casablanca and Gibraltar. Tangier is also right here on the coast, on the Straits of Gibraltar right there. And then Western Africa, no one knows if this is part of Morocco or not because this line is dashed. Maybe it's because it's in the sand, so that line is drawn in the sand. No one knows where the difference is. Algeria, biggest country in Africa. Algiers is its capital. I think we've seen that one before. I know we've seen Tunis because Tunisia, it's the capital of that, and it's right here at the tip of Africa. See, this is the highest northern point of Africa. Tripoli is in Libya. This is where the sands of Tripoli, that's from the Marine song, I believe. And then Benghazi, something happened back in during when Hillary was Secretary of State in Benghazi with the U.S. consulate. And then we just have Djibouti, or some people don't say the D, so it's Djibouti. Very fun name to say. Djibouti is the capital. And Eritrea, the capital, I thought it had a capital like its own name, but Eritrea is right here. And it's above Ethiopia, but it's less well known, so it's much smaller. And those are all the countries in Africa.